Um, you want to start it off, or you want me to
Well,
start it
we were
off?
talking about ideas in our family for Holy Thursday, how to make that special, how to create memories, and how to make it holy, despite the fact that we can't go to church, obviously.
And since we've been together for what, 3 weeks, we all understand. Like I said, we're like half Italian family. We're kind of, at each other's throats at this point. Not to say that I don't love my family, but family is hard sometimes. Anyway, so we're trying to figure out ways to make it holy and remember that, this week a lot of people are suffering right now, and to just bring it back to Jesus and, the importance of this week, really.
So one of the things we're going to do as a family tomorrow night, or tonight rather, on Thursday is to have our normal family meal together and everyone together. We're going to read the narrative as a family from the Gospel of John of Jesus at the Last Supper,
Mm-hmm.
and we've decided that we're going to wash each other's feet, take turns. Now, of course, we're already receiving some resistance from
I
some
have
members of the family.
3 younger brothers. 3 younger brothers. Let's just take that in for a minute. I have to wash 3 of my younger brothers' feet. I don't want to do it.
But that just brings the point home, right?
Yeah,
Because,
I
we have
know.
Peter that says, "You're not washing my
I
feet."
guess,
It's like
Jesus had to wash
12,
12.
24
Ah,
feet.
of the apostles, of the disciples. Oh, I
12.
can't imagine. That must be
Yeah, they're,
disgusting.
yeah. So,
Because they don't clean their feet.
and, and of
I can't
course,
imagine Peter's.
it,
Woo!
and 2,000 years ago, it was a lesson in humility and service as it will be tonight. So for your family, you gotta adjust to do what's right for your family. I think the squirm factor is good. I think I don't want to do this, and that think that brings the gospel right home for us all. But if that's too much for your family, maybe you can wash each other's hands, for example. So that's probably how we're going to celebrate Thursday. And anything else in there? Or should we move to?
Oh, also, I'm pretty sure there will be churches who are saying mass.
Oh yeah,
I, what is our church doing?
we have the Catherine
There you
connection, and so you'll have the elements of putting on a celebration for your family at home.
go.
So you'll have the intercessions, the readings, some music, and then the of course the gospel reading.
Yep.
So try to make it as much like being in our church as you can. But as you mentioned, there'll be churches live streaming their
Mm-hmm.
celebrations, and we're going to provide a link um, to our website, and on the website you'll find these resources available to you. So you can go find these other everything we mentioned here. We'll put a link to it, so
Mm-hmm.
you can use those resources, and that's joyoftheword.org. Joy of the word, all one word. Um, but for Good Friday, um,
Movie night.
and of course we're talking about around noon before we get to the movies. Around noon or sometime between noon and 3 o'clock, we want to gather
Mm-hmm.
the family together and pray the Stations of the Cross together. We talked
Oh,
about.
because for those of you who don't know, at 3 o'clock, it's kind of like a Catholic tradition where that's the hour that Jesus breathed his last and died on the cross. That's just tradition. Of course, we don't know when he really died, but that's just how we celebrate traditionally. So, just in case anybody doesn't know.
And we do have just some cardboard stations here at home, some
Mm-hmm.
traditional artwork. The weather's good. We talked about maybe setting them out in the backyard and making an outdoor experience of it, just to get outside
Mm-hmm.
and experience the outdoors a little bit.
Yeah, I always think it's so special on Good Friday because right after Jesus died, um, the screen went black. Anyway, right after Jesus died,
Did we say something wrong?
um, right for the third time, right, right after Jesus died, the world, the earth, kind of shook. Like there was what, like a hurricane or something. Like
Mm-hmm.
the it was
Winds and
like
storm.
nature itself was
Or,
angry at the world in a kind of way that makes sense. Yeah, but I think it's one of those moments in the gospel where it's so special because nature shows us that, yeah, this Jesus was the Son of God. So I always like on Good Friday to go somewhere in nature and just kind of, you know, have a quiet moment to myself. Um, yeah, so like what you said, doing stations outside and um, yeah.
To make the evening special for the family too, for especially for those hours from noon to 3, maybe select a special crucifix that you have in the house and put it someplace important in the house, someplace of prominence where
Hmm.
everybody can see it, and maybe just offer a little silent prayer or whatever.
Yeah.
Then at dinner time, remember it's fasting and abstinence on Holy
Oh
Friday.
yeah.
So
Dang
at dinner time, and during your celebration of Good Friday, if you're following along with Catherine Connection with our parish, when it comes time, you can use that cross that's been in your home in a special place when it's time to offer your own sign of love and sign of veneration for the crucifix,
it. Hmm.
and be meaningful to use that one.
Hmm.
We talked about too, maybe that crucifix could be handed around to the family members at some point, and maybe one of the family members share a time of suffering,
Hmm.
a time of hardship in their lives.
And then afterwards related to how Jesus suffered on the cross throughout the stations, because that was like the pivotal moment of when he suffered and bore all of our sufferings that, you know, we will have in life, because unfortunately life is not easy. So
And I think you mentioned something about a Good Friday movie.
oh my gosh. Okay, listen, so we got the Passion, we got Jesus of Nazareth. You have, I don't know how many puppet movies out there of Jesus, of cartoons.
For the
There was
kids.
this one that I really liked. It was Jesus the Miracle Maker or something like that, and it was this kind of like the standstill puppeteers. I really liked it. It was really good. Unfortunately, it's not on Amazon anymore, but um, it you know, just something like that. For it's really, I don't know. It just brings more meaning to the day for me.
So we're planning to put together some resources on some good movies and that to watch as a family
Mhm.
to celebrate the Triduum and Easter and the days beyond. So look for that one in the future.
Mhm. Yeah, I've got Easter movies too.
So that brings us to Holy Saturday. And we were talking about different things that might make sense for Holy Saturday. Holy Saturday would be a nice day to spend thinking about the saints, right? So we hear about people resurrecting from the dead on Sunday when Jesus rose from the dead. We hear that Holy Saturday is a day when Jesus confronted and descended into hell
Mm.
and saved those souls and opened up heaven for all of us and for those great heroes in virtue and the faith called the saints. So it might be a nice day to do something special in recollecting the saints of our faith.
Mhm. I always have trouble on Holy Saturday because it's kind of like it's like a day of waiting. Like you know what's coming. It's a day of preparation. And you kind of get so worked up in all your Easter plans, but now you don't have to because you probably don't have any. Or you shouldn't because you know social distancing everybody. But yeah, this year it's kind of cool. You mentioned something that, you know, as it gets dark in the evening, what Catholics do, what we typically do, is at church we have this ceremony where we're all, when we walk into the church, we all have candles, and that's the only light that we're given. And we go through the entire gospel basically, which is, it's an interesting
And
time.
salvation
Old
history,
Testament, yeah,
yeah, all the way from
salvation history, yep.
creation up.
And it's a really cool thing, but unfortunately since we can't do that this year, we were thinking about just going out into our backyard or someplace around our house and just having a candle in front of us and just kind of meditating and praying like, am I prepared to really welcome Jesus into my life, um, and accept like the sacrifice that He gave for us. And I think that that's really cool. And I would suggest to do it separately, not together, because like together I always get very distracted. That's one. And two, it means more if it's just you and just Jesus talking to one another. It's more of like a pilgrimage, you know, that special reflection. If any of you have been on a retreat, you always have like that reflective time. So that's my suggestion.
Yeah, so what this works is you take a candle or a vigil candle, just place it maybe in your backyard, like in the center of the yard where it's easy to see, and light it. And it is quite powerful and quite spiritual to either be outside, maybe on your deck or patio or
Mhm.
something, and to see that lone light and how much light is thrown off by a single candle, and think about how Christ is the light of the world. Or for other members of your family who aren't comfortable going outside, I mean, you can look out the window. The same thing. You see that lone light in the backyard. Sounds crazy, I know, but it does offer you a very powerful moment of prayer.
Mhm.
And you mentioned pilgrimages, and that reminded me too that another nice activity for Saturday might be to take a virtual pilgrimage of some different
Ooh.
sites on the internet. You know, whether it be the Shrine of the Immaculate Conception
Mhm.
or the Basilica of the Assumption, the Grotto, the Shrine of St. Anthony. We'll provide links. Most of them have a virtual tour online, or at least have lots of pictures of the grounds and the history. So that's another activity for the family on Saturday. Maybe pick a religious pilgrimage site and do it online.
Mhm. And also, you gotta love those movies. For all the kiddos out there, Veggie Tales: An Easter Carol is one of my faves and will always be one of my faves because I love the song that this little angel sings. Like, oh my gosh. Every time I hear that song, I just gotta sing to it. But anyway, it's amazing. It's a kid show, but it's powerful. It's Veggie Tales because you're never too old for Veggie Tales.
Never,
Nope. Mm-mm.
never, no.
It's like
Larry and Bob are in this one.
Larry and Bob are definitely in it.
Awesome.
It's like a Christian rite of passage. You need to watch this VeggieTales show. It's true though. It's true. Anyway, but
And you'll never look at vegetables the same. um,
oh my gosh.
and then finally that brings us to the great celebration of Easter.
Again, VeggieTales.
Again, more Veggie Tales to watch
VeggieTales.
together.
They
Yep,
have a
yep.
lot of Easter shows.
And I'm sure everybody probably has plans figured out for Easter. There's probably going to be, hopefully you'll have a nice celebration. Again, the family at
Dye
dinner.
those Easter eggs.
And again, go over the gospel resurrection stories.
Mhm.
And obviously, this is a great time if you on Thursday today to start looking into. If you're not familiar with Zoom or some of these other video conferencing softwares, get
Yeah,
familiar with one.
FaceTime.
FaceTime,
Even just a phone call.
and start lining that up with your family. That obviously we can't all gather together, but try to find a time where you can be together and schedule a video conference and
Hmm.
catch up with everyone and celebrate that way.
And also, maybe you could find time as well to contact some of our parishioners or your parishioners who are in a nursing home and, can't be around people during this time, so they're alone. And
Oh,
I've I've heard that a lot of them have specifically said how lonely they feel. So yeah, but I don't want to end on a sad
no, no. So, well, we can point out that Easter is an octave. So if you don't get it right on Easter Sunday, there's a few people that didn't quite make the video conferencing and they can't figure out what button to put. We got 8 weeks to celebrate
note.
Easter.
Catholics know how to party.
We party. We party. 8 weeks. It's gonna be an indoor party for part of that.
Oh yeah. Then finally, when we get out of this quarantine, we're gonna have a different party.
That's right. That's right.
Or
But
same party.
we celebrate this great rebirth, this great
Mhm.
recreation, this tremendous resurrection, and the gift of everlasting life.
Music
8
is always
weeks.
amazing as well. Sorry.
Yes. Oh no, absolutely no.
Forgot.
And so we hope that you have a very happy and blessed Triduum, followed by a safe and blessed Easter with your family around you.
Mm-hmm. Stay
And
healthy.
stay healthy. That's right.
Stay healthy. If anybody has the vaccine for COVID-19, we're always accepting that as well.
And once again, so all the different resources and ideas that we talked about, some that we didn't talk about, everything we could think of, we're going to put on the website www.joyoftheword.org. We went blank again. There it is. www.joyoftheword.org.
We'll have a better camera next time.
Yeah, we're working on
We're
that.
working on
It's-
it.
we're-
We're new.
We're using the
We're
resources we have
learners.
here at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.